This is the Power Producers Podcast, where we are refining and redefining the sales game.
Rule number one is you have to believe in yourself. You're the only one who doesn't think you belong in this appointment. The prospect has already validated your existence by scheduling time with you. Get it through your head you belong here, go in there, crush it, and close the deal.
A place where sales professionals can come to learn from other sales professionals and thought leaders that have mastered their craft.
The difference between a good salesperson and a best-in-class salesperson is only 2 minutes. By spending an extra 2 minutes on what you might think is a mundane task in the sales game, you separate yourselves from the pack, you grow your book of business, you close more deals, and you retain your accounts.
As well as their peers who are still striving for perfection to achieve their why.
I have a wife and 4 kids. Failure is not an option.
Real sales professionals, real stories, real results. Are you ready to feel the power?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Power Producers Podcast, where we are refining and redefining the sales game. This episode is so powerful, I only need one person with me. Kyle's taking the day off because actually the truth is moving into a new house, but we have, in my opinion, upgraded. We have Captain Dave Jackson, the man at the helm of IAOA, original founder, and he is going to talk to us about the upcoming Innovation22 in Nashville, Tennessee. I cannot believe the buzz, the hype, and all of the just peripheral stuff you got. I'm trying to think of the right adjective because, you know, having been to Innovation every year that we've had it for the last several years, watching it grow, it's sprawling. It's not like going vertical, it's also wide. And it's kind of correlated to what we were just talking about. You know, you relocated to Nashville. Innovation's in Nashville this year. And we're talking about Nashville sprawling. Innovation's following the same pattern, man.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. I mean, you got a bourbon tour. Yeah, you got a bourbon tour. You got a honky tonk. You've got Keith Urban concert. I mean, all of this stuff happening. I'm excited for you.
It's a jam-packed 3 days, let me tell you. And we got others coming on board. Like you mentioned, one of our members across the border, where I live on northern part of Nashville, is like 20 minutes from the Kentucky border.
Oh, okay.
So we have a member who's like, hey, I live like less than an hour away, and I love to do a tour. A lot of people like to take the bourbon tour, trail tour, and it's in Kentucky, majority of it. And he says, I'll organize it and run it. So I said, sure. If people are, so that's on Wednesday, I believe. That's an optional thing on Wednesday. So that's, I think, an all-day thing. I don't have the time to do it, but it'd be cool for sure. So that's like just one of the things that our members added in optionally, kind of like you did last year with a commercial.
I was going to say, man, I think that makes the event pretty cool, though. If you have people that are in the area that are able to put something together to give you a little bit of the local flavor or a little something extra, you know, that makes the event even more unique, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And, you know, we kind of make it a theme. Last year was all about pirates in Tampa, your hometown. And this year, of course, Music City. So you got to do country, and we've got a concert. So let me give you the quick rundown. So Wednesday, optional, Kentucky Bourbon Tour. And then that's Landry Fields is putting that on. I can't even remember. Yeah, I think it is.
It's Landry Fields, and he had 2 people sponsor for him. I know IPFS was one, and I think maybe Openly was the other. I don't remember.
I believe you're right. Yep. So he's kind of just took the bull by the horns and took that over. He says, hey, he asked me, can I do it? I'm like, yeah, go for it, because I got my hands full. So he just did that on his own. Thanks to him. So that's Wednesday. Thursday morning, we start with golf. We have a golf scramble. We have about 100 golfers. Kansas City Life Insurance is our corporate sponsor on that. They have been for years, and they put on a real good show. It's at the Gaylord Springs Golf Club, which is like 10 minutes away from the resort. So quick bus ride over with your clubs and play 18 and scramble with some awards and fun and a whole bunch of about 100 golfers all together. So that's first thing Thursday morning. Then we have a subgroup called Women of IAOA, which is just for the ladies, and they are having their own luncheon Thursday morning, 11:30. That's at the Gaylord. And right after that at 2:00 is registration. So from 2 to 5 is registration. Exhibitors and attendee alike come in, pick up their credentials and their name badge and everything they need to know. And that goes till 5:00. Then at 7:00 in the same Tennessee ballroom inside the Gaylord Opryland Resort is our welcome reception. It's in the foyer right outside the ballroom where our meetings and presentations will be held. That's Thursday night, welcome reception, 7 to 9. We take our speakers on a tour of the backstage. You've done that before. And we're going to take them to a private dinner on Thursday night, speakers only. And then Friday morning, we start breakfast, then all day, 9:00 on. I got a couple surprises up my sleeve. I'm not going to mention what or when, but I think attendees will be pleasantly surprised, might laugh a little bit and have some fun, and then learn a whole bunch from some amazing presenters. We have 17 presenters with talking about all kinds of topics that are going to be.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that for a second, because
Sure.
you did something this year, and I agree with what you did, Dave. I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, we go to these concerts, and I'm guilty of this because I get asked to speak at a lot of different conferences or whatever. But you've sort of revamped. You've got a lot of new blood in the speaker lineup. So I think that a lot of people who are probably sitting out on the outside looking in are thinking, IAOA, you know, it's going to be the same as it always has been, same people. I've heard them talk before. That's not the case this year. Talk a little bit about the new speakers that you have coming in.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people say, oh, they're handpicked, you know, the good old boy. That's not true at all. I take nominations from our 8,000 plus members. So our members drive everything. I'm just the back end facilitator. They call me the captain, but all I do is, you know, spin the wheel of the ship, you know, and the members are the rudder, and they steer us wherever they want us to go. So the nominations, and then once we got all the nominations in, I made invitations, and those that accepted, I said, send me 3 of your topics that you feel like you can speak on, that you are like considered an expert, or would be, I know I got this dialed in within my agency. So they sent me 3 topics, and I chose one of the 3, so that they would mesh together as a group, because nobody knew what everybody else was sending in. So we wouldn't have duplicate topics or something too close, you know. So we got a terrific lineup. It's all on our website, IAOA.com. Click on Innovation22, and you can hover over each presenter. You'll see their topic. And yeah, we've got 17 of them this year. This year we'll have all general session presentations. What that means is no small room breakouts. Everything is in one room on one stage for 2 days. The entire
You're reading my mind, man. You're reading my mind. That was my next question, was talk a little bit about format. Have you changed any of that? So that's good to know. I think, and you know, I think people will appreciate that. I'll be interested in the feedback after the conference is over. But I mean, I can tell you just from my own viewpoint, I was torn. You know, you have to pick between 1 or 2 people, and I'm friends with a lot of the people who were speaking. So what I typically ended up doing was I would go in and spend a little bit in one person's session and a little bit in another person's session and a little bit in another person's, if there were 2 or 3 people going at the same time. So having that pared down and having everybody in the same place, I think is going to pay huge dividends for the people that are there and looking to really change their game.
And we did that because of feedback on our surveys afterwards. People are like, you made me choose. I wanted to go to all of them, you know, and I had to choose, and I missed out. And the cost to videotape every session is astronomical, and we just don't have that as an option. You know, it's just, we'd have to charge you 3 times as much for a conference ticket to do it, and then you won't come. So we're not doing that anymore. We listen to our members from past years, and no breakouts. So you don't have to pick. You're going to see and listen to everybody in one room for 2 days straight. We give you plenty of breaks, so there's not going to be a problem. So I just got handed to me, David. I swore I wouldn't give away any secrets, but I'm going to give you a glimpse. So are you ready?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is cool. So I'm going to put this up. It's going to be a little tricky to read. I know how the camera looks, but check it out. There's a little glare there.
I can tell what it is. You had some rib rub or something made.
There you go, baby. Captain Dave's.
Best part of that is the hat.
Better together Nashville Spice. How about that?
The best part about that's the yellow cowboy hat, man.
Oh, that's a straw hat with our logo. Check it out.
I didn't even see it.
I'm not going to tell you who's going to get them because this is a special delight. So I'll just leave that out there, to wet your whistle.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, you know how much I love to cook too. So now I'm really jealous. So listen, I'm on the outside. I'm newer to IAOA. Obviously, we've had a ramp up in members that have come in based on, again, I'm going to qualify this comment as my personal opinion, so as not to offend anybody. But from the dialogue and the interaction that I see in IAOA these days, a lot of newer independent agents are out there. They're maybe new to the industry, or they came from the captive side and now they want to have an independent agency. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, I was always a producer. I didn't own the agency until I launched Florida Risk. And so for me, it has been invaluable for me just to be around other agency owners. People like Ed Cooper and Greg Hogan that have become really good friends of mine that run outstanding agencies. And I've learned just so much by being there and attending that stuff. What would you tell that person that's on the fence, that's maybe newer to the group? And it's funny because what I'm getting, you'll laugh at this when I say it, but it's always comical to me when people start talking after the conference about what a great time they have. And then you have the people in the group say, well, innovation, what's that? Meanwhile, it's been getting marketed for a year ahead of time. It's all over social media. And it's like they never knew that it was happening. But it's such an impactful event for the person that goes with a thirst to learn. They can get that thirst quenched. What would you tell that person sitting on the fence right now, knowing that you're selling tickets, but you've only got a finite amount of space to fill up?
Right. So here's what I'll tell you. We have hundreds and hundreds of attendees, and almost every year it's about 50% first timers. The other 50% are repeaters. So those first timers jump in, and everyone tells them it's going to feel like you're drinking from a fire hose because you're going to be flooded with information and knowledge. It's absolutely great. You're going to want to implement all of it in your agency, but you just can't. So we tell everybody, pick your top three, and prioritize. Start with number one. Maybe it'll take a day or a week or a month or a year. Who knows? But don't start on number two until you've got number one, unless it makes sense. Got number one completed. So don't think you're going to take 17 ideas and just implement them all on Monday. That is never going to happen. So don't think it can. Just take not necessarily all of it will be applicable to your agency. Everybody's got a different agency. So take what you can or need for your agency, implement it, and make it better. And come back next year and you'll have 17 or 18 new ideas. And take those back. So every year we never have a repeat of topics ever, not even close. And this year the topics are very broad and diverse. So just take what you can and listen. We know you and I started years ago. Your first year, 2 or 3, finances are tough, man. You can barely afford to put gas in your car. I get it. We've all been there. So to put money out to attend, a conference, even just one a year, it's a lot. It's an awful lot. And then take time away from your family and your office or your agency. It's a lot to ask. And it's a real leap of faith for first timers. I've never been. I'm going to jump on an airplane, head to Nashville, and I don't know anyone. I know them in person. Maybe they know a handful from the industry, but I know a bunch of them via social media. So how cool is it where you get to meet them all face to face, and the relationships? I know you mentioned a couple guys, just the relationships that have been built over the years is just worth its weight in gold. It's way worth more than any money you spend on the conference.
You know
The
what, man?
relationships are what
Interviewing
it's all
you is
about.
like, interviewing you is like taking candy from a baby. You are playing right into my hands, because that is exactly what I was going to say next. My advice to those people that are out there thinking, oh, how much could I really learn about insurance, right? Because let's face it, there's only so much you can learn about insurance, right? But what is our business? Our business is about relationships. And the number one piece of feedback, outside of the fact that there's usually just unanimous approval of the speakers, the topics, the setup, and everything else, but the number one piece of feedback I get every single year is it's the time outside of the learning that's the most impactful. And the thing that I feel like most people will get, everybody should get, but the number one thing that I think that most people would get out of going, if you've never been before, is you'll get your tribe. You'll begin to build your support structure. You might be able to get into or create a mastermind group of other like-minded people that you met that weren't here, last year. Maybe it's their first conference too, and you're all trying to figure this thing out, and you decide to put a group together. Those relationships are worth every single dollar, and then some. You really can't even put a price tag on it. People, I know, I've got a podcast that has tens of thousands of people who listen to it. I travel the country speaking. So when you listen to me talk, it's assumed that I have always had what I have right now. I'm here to tell you, I'm the guy that went to my first innovation, and I had to pick between something I needed to pay for my agency and jumping out on a leap of faith to buy that ticket. And it's the best ticket that I've ever bought in my life. It changed my agency. It changed me personally. And it gave me friendships and relationships that will last me long after I'm out of the insurance industry. So I have to tell you, if you're that new person, or if you're that person that's been in IAOA forever and thinks all it is a Facebook group, take the leap of faith and allow the group to personify itself in person. And the people are what makes the conference so good. You will change your life. You will change your career if you take that leap of faith. But we can't make that decision for you. You have to do it. You had the ability to go out on a leap of faith to open your agency. And the number one thing that I see when people do this, and I'm guilty of it myself, is we don't invest enough in ourselves through that process. We feel like we're alone. We don't know where to turn for resources. This is an open book test, ladies and gentlemen. You can get what you need if you go to Innovation22 in Nashville. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, Dave.
There's a reason why we're called independent agents, right? I spent my 43 years in the industry, 35 of it on the captive side. And then when I went independent, I found out, you know what? I wanted to be independent. And guess what? Now I am. So sure, I can call a carrier rep for a question or an underwriter or whatever. But I really would love to hear from my peers and ask them, how are they doing this or that in their agencies? And that's why IAOA just accidentally happened. It's a story from 9 years ago. And I found out, you know what, being independent really means that you want it, you relish it. But then you find out, wow, I'm on an island. Yeah. And so having that support group and mentors, if you find one, and, mastermind groups and all of it that goes with it, it's just, you're right. You just can't put a dollar sign on it. It just, there's no way to do it, but the value is just through the roof. It's just beyond crazy. So yeah, that's Absolutely. The best part about getting together at a conference. And that's why we have 50% of our attendees as repeaters. They come back and want to see their friends once a year, so many of them, and they get together, and the time they spend after presentations in the hallways, at breaks, and at night, going out, it's just the best time ever.
Listen, and if anybody's out there being cynical and you're running numbers in your head, you just heard Dave say that 50% of the people are repeats, right? That's not because the other 50% came and didn't want to come back. It's because it's so powerful when people come to this, that there's that many people that are new the next year, that the repeat people are only 50%. So I have to tell you, if you are on the fence at all, you're selling. What's the deadline? I mean, I know that at some point you could easily run out of space, but I do think you've extended it from where you used to do the cutoff for ticket sales. You still have some tickets available. Yep. How long are they available if you don't fill up the room, which I would suspect you'll fill up the room long before?
Yeah, the room's getting close to full, but we'll take a ticket up. No walk-ins. We can't do a walk-in, like show up the day of, but we can take your ticket purchase the day before, October 5th. So we're printing, and the biggest reason is we're printing name badges on demand this year. Everybody gets theirs printed right when they walk up. So we didn't have to pre-print them in advance and then, have them shipped and all the lead time with that. So we have the luxury of doing that. So a lot of times people either forget or don't know their plans, staffing in their agency, all of that plays in, family time, all that plays into, can I leave? Can I be there? We're into the late price, late arrival price, but if you can make it, it's still just $7.99. That's the ticket cost. Up till October 5th. So there's still, the rooms they cut off yesterday in our room block. You can still get a room at the Gaylord Opryland, but it won't be inside our room block because they have a deadline on that. I don't control that, but still a chance to get there.
Yeah. The other thing I would say is, for those people that you have gained something, there is no cost to be in IAOA whatsoever.
No,
you're there for literally 363 days a year, and it doesn't cost you anything to interact. When you come to innovation, there's a cost for obvious reasons, but some of the people need to get there. They can't get there. And I don't know what the logistics of the scholarship are for this year. I would assume that you've probably already notified the people that you're going to give the scholarship to. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking to everybody else out there that takes and takes and takes from the community. And that's all you want to do is take. People, if you give, you're going to take 10 times more than you give. If you've gone to these conferences, I don't care if it's $25. Skip going out to lunch one day. Donate to this scholarship fund and make a difference for that struggling agent that was you 5 years ago. Somebody took a chance on you at some point in your career. And I got to be honest, man, it should not be that difficult for a group of that size to generate enough to where nobody goes with their needs unmet. Honestly, people, come off your wallets. We make good money. This is the greatest industry that God ever created. Amen. And if you don't have it in there right now, go sell another freaking policy and promise that you're going to donate the commissions to this scholarship fund, because I know there are people out there. I talk about it when I get up and speak in public. I can relate to the people that are on the rough patch right now. There was a time in my life when, if the microwave went off, I ran to the front door afraid that it was the tow truck backing up to repo my car because I didn't pay my bills. I didn't have the money, and I fought my way out. People,
loud microwave.
Yeah. Make it up to yourselves, people. For those of you that give, and for those of you on the fence, take the chance. Take the chance to come to Innovation 2022.
Yeah. If you got a second, I'm going to inform your listeners to one new thing that I've been working on for some time.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
So you brought up the scholarship. So what we do is we allow attendees to donate to the scholarship fund when they register. This year we had enough at a $649 value. That was the early bird price, enough to fund 11 scholarships. So we had several $1,000s donated into the fund. Tremendous generosity of our members. Thank you to all of them who donated. We had about 80 different donors and several $1,000s and 11 recipients to a scholarship. So
stop for 1 second, people. Here's my problem with that. That is 1% of the membership of IAOA. 1%. We got more 1%ers in that group than anywhere else on the internet.
Yeah, that's true. So what I've decided to do is take it to another level. So we're not official yet. We're waiting on approval, but we have filed for a nonprofit, a foundation, a 501c3 foundation so that anyone in IAOA can donate to the foundation throughout the year, and has the same purpose: fund scholarships to attend innovation next year. But it'll be, once we get our approval as a nonprofit, it will be tax exempt. So you'll be able to donate tax-free to our foundation. That's in the works right now as we speak.
That's awesome, man. What have we missed?
Did I mention Captain Dave's Nashville Spice? Did I mention that?
Listen,
yeah. So the rest of the conference is Friday, happy hour, 5:00 Friday after presentations till 6:30. We've got sponsors for all of this. That's just jam-packed the exhibit hall for an hour and a half, free drink tickets and all of that. Friday night is the Keith Urban concert. So for everybody who donated to our scholarship fund, for every $20, you got a chance, your name in a drawing to attend with Captain Dave and Miss Terry to attend the Keith Urban concert. We had 2 winners. We just announced them yesterday, and they each get to bring a guest. So there'll be 6 of us jumping in a limo from the Gaylord Opryland, going downtown to Bridgestone Arena Friday night. VIP dinner plus Keith Urban concert Friday night. That'll be awesome. Saturday, again, all day presentations. And Saturday night, we finish up with our honky tonk party right next door at the Grand Ole Opry in Studio A. It's going to be amazing. We have a live band, very cool Jimmy Charles band. He's got some hits out now in the country radio music arena, and they're going to be some cool stuff. And the party's going to be we're going to have costume contests. What else, Terry? We're going to have a ice sculpture. She's got planned. She's got this whole party planned. And is it going to be a bourbon tasting or a hot
Nashville chicken tasting?
Nashville hot chicken tasting contest. That's going to be awesome. That's all during the honky tonk. That's an optional item you do have to pay a ticket for, and that's almost sold out. 350 is all it'll help. I think we have like 14 tickets left. So yeah, Jimmy Charles band. So that'll be a blast, and that's our grand finale. But before we get there on stage, I got a couple surprises. So I'll leave it at that.
Good deal, man. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap up because I want to get this thing out to the masses as quick as I can. I would feel terrible if anybody missed out because I didn't have this edited and distributed quick enough. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule today to just sort of lay it out there and let everybody know what's going on. And I can't wait to see the response and hear all the positive feedback after Innovation in Nashville this year. I know how much it takes to put on an event like this. Actually, I don't. I can only assume. I know what it takes to put on something at a much smaller scale. So mad respect to you and Terry and everything that you're doing behind the scenes to make this thing happen. And I hope it's as much of a success as I believe it will be. So
appreciate that. Yep. October 6th, 7, and 8, Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee. This year, go to IAOA.com and get all the information you need, including buy your ticket and get registered.
Awesome. You heard the man, IAOA.com. Secrets, surprises, spices this year. I don't know what else you could possibly ask for. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate everything you do.
These were made in our kitchen, my own kitchen. I'm telling you, it is special. You're going to get one in the mail.
I'm not even going to go to the product liability questions on that.
No.
All right. Good luck to you, my friend. I hope everything's a massive success. We'll talk soon.
Thanks. Captain Dave signing out.
You've been listening to the Power Producers Podcast. You can follow Killing Commercial Insurance on Facebook and YouTube. And if you want to take your game to the next level, check out our book, The Extra 2 Minutes, and our website, killingcommercial.com.